Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.
When the 49ers switch coordinators, defensive coordinators, from Steve Wilks to Nick Sorensen, who's been on the staff, probably one of the phrases that is used most by Shanahan, Sorensen, the defensive teammates, the defensive position coaches is, we want to get back to our style of football. Physical, all those different things. And probably one of the players that I think embodies that the most with the new addition is cornerback Rock Ya-Sin. Free agent, kind of an NFL journeyman, despite the fact he's only going into his NFL sixth season, been traded and, played for 3 different teams now. He is physical. Is he a great starter caliber player that's lighting up the free agent board? Absolutely not. Not at this stage in his career. But the one thing that he has that we have not had in that kind of 4th, 5th rotational corner is straight up physicality. He brings it in spades. So whenever I look at Steve Wilks and how much he adored and just constantly rested on Ambry Thomas, not that this is an Ambry Thomas, he's catching some strays here, but physicality has never been a part of his game ever. Shies away from contact at all points. And after his injury last year, he came back quick, which was awesome. The difference between Ambry Thomas and Rock Ya-Sin are night and day. They play the same position, outside corner. But I'm here to tell you right now, completely different 7-on-7 versus a state championship wrestler, multiple state championships. His name is Rock. His name is Rock. My name is my name. There we go. Somebody got the wire reference there. But this dude is physical. Is he a great corner? No. But back to that idea, this is who we want to be as a defense. Rock Ya-Sin fits that to a T. He comes in number 51 on our roster countdown, and shout out to my man Josh, the executive producer of today's show. His highest ranked was 42. His lowest rank was 57 on our 4 ballots that we did 1 through 91. So he's got a pretty big range there. Where's jersey number 33 for the 49ers? What's up? Shout out Catfish. 5'11", 195. Again, 6 foot 200. Perfect fit. He's right there. 32-inch arms. He's 27 years old, so not long in the tooth. Ran a 4.5 140 coming out of the draft. Solid. 1.53 cone. Solid. 7.3 3-cone. Not great. That's probably why he doesn't play inside much. He's an outside corner probably only. 39.5-inch vertical. Solid. 10-foot broad jump. Great. 18 bench press reps. This dude is stout. Again, back-to-back wrestling championship in high school in Georgia. Now, you plug in Rock Ya-Sin's numbers into mock draftable. Listen to these comps. Kendall Fuller, Jalen Johnson, Jeff Gladney. I mean, he's got the athleticism. He's got the build. You look at him and you're like, all right, this dude he's like a mini linebacker build. That's what he looks like. Kind of looks like a safety and might eventually fail to safety if corner doesn't continue working out for him. But he's going into his 6th season. Georgia guy, raised in Decatur, Georgia. I lived in Decatur for a few summers with the Pops. Psychology major that kind of transferred around. He went to Presbyterian College for 3 seasons, then transferred to Temple in 2018, and that's whenever he kind of jumped on the scene, then gets drafted in the 2nd round. Now, here's what's cool about Rock. East Side Atlanta, not the best. It wasn't. He didn't grow up in the best neighborhood or anything like that. He has a story back in high school where he asked his high school coaches if they would turn their headlights on because they didn't have lights going so that he could keep working on the football field 30 minutes after practice. Like, he's that type of guy. And anytime you look at or hear his kind of path to the NFL, it makes sense. He was great in high school, 2-time All-County, 2-time All-Region in high school, DeKalb County leader in interceptions, 3-time regional championship in high school, 2-time high school state championship wrestler, honor roll, principals list, all those things. And whenever he was asked, looking back, whenever he's in the NFL, looking back, he said, I was considered a no-star recruit out of high school. He had to go to Presbyterian to play football for 3 years until he, transferred to Temple. Like, Temple's considered somewhat of a smaller school. It's risen a lot since Matt Rule showed up there and started to have success. But like Temple is the toughest of tough, type schools. It's a blue collar lunch pail type, and he embodied that to a T. And he had to work to get there. Then he gets in the NFL, and he's kind of bounced around a little more than he probably deserves. But, again, back to the personality that Rock Ya-Sin is, he wanted a structured life from an early age. Narrowed his circle of friends because he didn't want to make mistakes, didn't want to run with the wrong crowd. And, his quote that he, used a lot was, anything in life that's worth having, you got to work for it. And that's just what he was. Came in and was great as a rookie, and probably one of the red flags, his career is kind of in a descending trend. I doubt that he would say that, but, he was PFS all-rookie team in 2019, but his snap count has gone down consecutive years. You look at his PFF grades just from last year with the Ravens, 63.3 overall, 55.5 run defense. That's the red flag area. 63.8 coverage, 83.8 tackling. This dude could tackle. Now, his angles, he's a little too hair on fire, and that's why he's gotten in trouble in the run game. Not so much missed tackles, missed pursuit. He's tough. He's not shy from contact. That's not who he is. Now, he got drafted number 34th overall. It was a borderline first-round pick. This is by Indianapolis. They drafted him. Here's my pre-draft write-up of Rock Ya-Sin before he got drafted in 2019. So this is Debo, Nick Bosa draft, and it went right before Debo, actually. Like glue. Perfect mirror match corner with great hips, gives up very little separation. That's kind of again, back to what the Niners want. They want somebody that makes it difficult for opposing wide receivers. Teams look the other way because this kid was a blanket, can play bell technique, but mirror match is so good it would be a mistake. And I think that's the thing. He has to find his fit. Very strong, explosive for corner, state championship wrestler. I called him a bulked up Kendall Fuller at a late first, early second round grade. That's right where he went. And he was part of two relatively big trades. The Sam Darnold trade for the Jets. He was a part of that. The Colts got Quentin Nelson, Braden Smith, and Rock Ya-Sin. Those were the three players that they got. Jets got Sam Darnold. I think it's pretty obvious who won that damn trade, right? Then, after 3 years with the Colts, he gets traded to the Raiders for Yannick Ngakoue in like one of the rare player-for-player trades. He had that contract. He was flipping out about that, whatever else. And so they swapped players. So with the Colts, 2019, 2020, 2021. Then he goes to the Raiders for 2022. Rookie deal expired after that. Signed a 1-year, $4 million deal. Completely 100% guaranteed, mind you, with Baltimore last year. Missed a couple games. And then signed a 1-year, $1.2 million deal with the Niners. So you see the drop-off. But $1 million guaranteed there, too. So guarantee is a big deal to him. He's made $13 million in his NFL career, so love to see that. That's generational wealth right there. Now, look at his accumulation of stats with Rock Ya-Sin. 146 career tackles, 2 tackles for losses, 1 quarterback hit, 2 interceptions. That's it, his whole career. 29 pass breakups, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries. Last year, only 13 tackles, 2 pass breakups. Didn't play a lot. And that's kind of the issue. But you're talking about a seasoned vet. This is the transition of the 2024 49ers. Championship window's open. We don't want a bunch of rookies and undrafted free agents. Yeah, we got to get those guys. But they are building their depth with seasoned veterans on cheap contracts. Rock Ya-Sin has started 40 games in the NFL, and he's 27. 40 games. He's played in 66, and he's been kind of a rotational guy, and I think that's what he's going to be for the Niners. Kind of that Ambry Thomas type role. Is he who you want starting? No. But if an injury happens to a corner, all right, yeah, let's get him out there. And the 49ers have developed the best secondary depth since Shanahan's been here this year. Like, it's there. It's a solid team. Now, why has his play regressed? Why is he on a $1.2 million deal from what he has been? Well, lack of ball skill is a killer. He's had 0 interceptions the past 3 seasons. That hurts. 25 career penalties, that's a killer. So if you're not making teams pay when they challenge you with interceptions, he is pretty good at, pass breakups. You can't bail him out with penalties. And that's been kind of the major issue. Missed tackles aren't the issue. They're there. It's miss pursuit angles. Too aggressive. That's an issue. Last year he had 0 missed tackles, but only 281 snaps defensively. That's not great. And again, you look at NFL passer rating when he's been targeted for his career, 98.0. That's way too high. You got to make teams pay. You bail him out with penalties. You're not getting interceptions. It's just, he's kind of a green zone corner where it's like, look, we can go at this guy. He ain't going to make us cost. But the physicality, the attitude, the work ethic, the experience, it's pretty dang good for a number 4, 5, or 6 corner, which I think is probably where he fits. Now, if you look at the cornerback depth chart, which is stacked, 49ers usually keep 5 to 6 corners. Charvarius Ward, lock. Diamador Lenore, lock. Renardo Green, lock. Isaac Yadam, lock. Look at the contract. Those 4 are locks. Now, you might have 1 or 2 spots left. Listen to all these guys competing for 1 to 2 spots. Darrell Luter Jr. played in the Super Bowl. Rock Ya-Sin, Ambry Thomas. I mean, that dude started for 2 NFC championship winning teams. Played terrible in both of them. Chase Lucas. Chase Lucas could have been a starter for this team at the nickel corner if we didn't draft Renardo Green. Then behind them, you've got Samuel Womack and Kamon Hall. There are guys. There are a lot of bodies, quality depth. That's what separates the 2024 49ers versus a lot of old teams is, man, you'd have 1 to 2 injuries at the corner position, and you'd be screwed. You would be screwed. Now, you got 1 to 2 injuries, and Rock Ya-Sin's starting. Ambry Thomas is starting. He was a starter last year for us. Probably shouldn't have been, and I think one of the main reasons why Wilkes isn't here anymore, there's a lot of reasons, but his faith in Ambry Thomas cost him in that divisional round in the NFC Championship, and then finally they realized in the Super Bowl and pulled him for Logan Ryan off the street. But guys like this give the 49ers options, and let alone the physicality and athleticism for special teams play. That's huge. You couldn't put Ambry Thomas on a lot of special teams because he's scared to hit. Rock Ya-Sin, his name's Rock, man. He will hit you in the face. So you're looking at him as, cornerback 4, 5, or 6. Let's see what he could do, because you're competing with guys with a lot less experience than you. Darrell Luter Jr., Samuel Womack, guys like that. We'll see where it shakes out, but I love this raising the floor of your defensive back group. That's huge. It's not like it's a huge burden financially. $1 million guaranteed, so if he doesn't make the 53, yeah, it hurts, but, you're all right. But I think he's going to be on this 53 just because personality, vet, a little bit more dependable having a seasoned vet out there than a first or second year player. It's kind of the 49ers MO. I hope Darrell Luter Jr. wins that spot, but right behind him, I'd want Rock Ya-Sin personally. So excited to have him on the team. The attitude bump, the physicality, all that kind of stuff, the seasoned experience, all great things, and just the depth increase for the 49ers at the cornerback position. I'll take it all day. I mean, you're looking at, you have 3 corners go down. You're not in dire straits anymore. We remember that Miami game against Ryan Fitzpatrick. That day, cost me months of my life. We're not going to be back there again. So, Rock Ya-Sin, glad to have you. And for us, we'll just keep counting them down.